I can see it now. You're watching me. It's late at night. You've already had dinner and you're still hungry. Well, lucky for you, I am going to show you 4 amazing lazy snacks that you can make in no time.
He's got budget meals for families, delicious new recipes. Bring your friends over, let's make it and share. It's Nicko's kitchen where satisfying meals are prepared.
We all get lazy every now and again with food. We all do it. I do it, you do it, everyone does it. So don't feel bad. But I've got some really awesome lazy snack recipes for you to try when you're just feeling, ugh, I don't or can't be bothered making this, but this I can make and it is super easy and it tastes delicious. And the first one I'm gonna make is a Nutella brownie. This thing is so good. It is one of the best brownie recipes out there that I make, and it is so easy to do. You will feel so lazy making it, but you will feel so good eating it, let me tell you. And no one will know. So only 3 ingredients into a bowl. I'm gonna be placing in some Nutella. Now this acts as our base, our flavor, our sweetness. If there's another hazelnut spread that you wanna use, go for it. You know I love Nutella. And to that, I'm gonna add 2 eggs, and then I'm adding in some flour, just all plain purpose flour, and give everything a good mix around. Get that Nutella, that egg, that flour mixed really, really well. It'll be nice and creamy, and it will be like this brownie batter. It is so delicious. Don't be tempted to eat it just yet, because it's gonna taste even better when you bake it. And that's it. Everyone's got flour in their pantry, well, most people. Everyone's got a couple of eggs, and just keep a bit of Nutella on standby for those break in case of emergency moments that you want something sweet and you can't be bothered making something. This is so easy. I just line a square baking tin with some baking paper, pop the batter straight in, and it goes into the oven, 180 degrees or 350 Fahrenheit, 180 degrees Celsius. And the secret to a good brownie is popping it in for about 15 minutes, but it won't be cooked. But the cooking process will continue when you bring it out of the oven. It will start to deflate just a little bit. And that's when the fudginess starts. It starts to get all fudgy. It continues to cook very, very slowly. I leave my brownies for about 15 minutes after I've finished baking them, just to rest. It is very, very important, because when you do go and slice into it, have a look at how tender and moist and juicy they are. It's like a perfectly cooked steak. It is fudgy, it is delicious, and the flavor, oh my goodness, it is so, so good. The police are coming. They've heard about my brownies. 3 ingredients, beautiful brownies, ready in half an hour. Doesn't get much lazier than that. But maybe this next recipe does get lazier than that. In fact, I reckon this one's pretty lazy, but I do love it. It's one of my favorites. It's a great snack. And this is a great leftover snack that I love to do. And it's pretty healthy as well, actually. It's not that bad. So I usually have some whole wheat tortillas on standby, usually if kids come around and they want a snack or something like that. So I grab some of these out of the pantry and I spread over some peanut butter. Now you can use almond butter or anything else like that. I love the peanut butter in this. I'm using a darker roast. I just had this in the pantry and I thought this will be perfect. It's got much more intensity to it. And I just spread it just over the tortilla. Really simple. Yes, we're spreading peanut butter on a tortilla on Nicko's kitchen. It's happening. And then I place a ripe banana at the edge of the tortilla, and then I just wrap it up. Just wrap it up. Slice into it, and you've got the most amazing snack that is good for you, that is going to fill your tummy up. This is great to have just before you go to the gym, or just before you go out, or just late at night if you're feeling, you know what, I just want to feel full. Boom, this is what you've got to do. This takes 30 seconds to make. This is even lazier. Now this next lazy recipe is only 2 ingredients, and really it's just 1 if we're being serious. It's summer here at the minute. It is stinking hot. It is like 40 degrees Celsius, which is like 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It's summer, it's hot, but you want something refreshing just to help cool that palate down. So I usually keep a little bit of pineapple in the freezer, just canned pineapple, or if I've got my hands on a fresh one, I just cut it up, slice it, place it in the freezer in a container, and they're fantastic little snacks on their own. But what I do is I bring them out, I pop them into a blender, and then I place in some fresh mint. And pineapple and mint, again, another flavor combo that just goes so well together. And I pop them in the blender and I just give it a whirl, and it almost becomes like this soft serve versus granita type texture. It is glorious. You just bring it out and you pop it into the bowl, and it is probably the most refreshing frozen dessert on the planet. Frozen pineapple is just gorgeous. And you will sit there and it is nice and sweet. There's no added sugar, and the mint just gives it a wonderful freshness to it and a vibrance to it that's much needed. So technically this recipe is even lazier than the last one. You're just freezing pineapple and blending it. That's not hard. Now this next one is a favorite of mine. I love it. It takes 1 minute to put together and it is very, very lazy. It's a cookie dough Greek yogurt. Now my daughter Imogen has had this before and she tells me, Dad, it just tastes like that Chobani peanut butter Greek yogurt. And she's pretty spot on. It's very, very similar. I call it cookie dough because it does have that sort of soft, gooey cookie dough texture to it, but it is very much like that Chobani style yogurt. So into a bowl you want to add peanut butter, and again this is 100% peanut butter, there's nothing added to it. A little bit of sweetness, I'm putting in some stevia, I'm giving it a shot of some vanilla bean paste, which you know I love, some Greek yogurt, some really good Greek thick yogurt, and then some dark chocolate chips. Now you can get these keto chocolate chips if you want to make this completely keto friendly and make it an absolute protein bomb, then you can. If you can't get hold of them, just use normal dark chocolate chips, they're fine. You could use milk if you wanted to, but then we start moving away from the healthier side of laziness and we're getting into the bad side of laziness. And just give everything a good mix around. Like you're just chucking ingredients in a bowl and mixing it. That's all you got to do. This is easy. And when it's all nicely combined, I just pop it into a serving bowl. I top it with some dark chocolate chips, and then you can place this into the fridge for when you want to eat it. It will last during that day. Probably won't last that long, but it is full of protein. It's great for those people on keto diets and low carb diets as well. And it tastes delicious. Let me tell you, it tastes so good. These recipes are so lazy, I can't even be bothered giving you guys an outro.